Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Coffee Chat.
Yes.
It's fun.
It is. It feels like it's been a long time since we did
It's Tuesday again. It's already Tuesday. But let me introduce myself first. I'm Smeraglia. I'm the CEO and owner of Smeraglia Enterprises and Teddy Bear Goldendoodles, Schnoodles, and Twoodles. And we love that you are always here following us on all of our social media platforms, from Facebook to Instagram to YouTube. We have so much fun online, but we really enjoy these Tuesday coffee chats with you. And I'm here with Carol Tuberville, and she she wears quite a few hats here, but she's over Animal Care Services, but she's also got a new title.
I do.
Yes, it's called Director of Research and Development.
Oh, I didn't know that yet.
Yes, I wanted to tell you that today.
I knew last week I got a new title. You were calling me King by accident. So I got that one last week. So every week I'm getting a new title.
Yes, so we do a lot of research and development here today. And as I was working with the people that is helping us move right along with our research and development, he was like, so who is the Director of Research and Development that works with you? You know, the director. And I said, well, I've never had that title, but it is her. It's Carol. He said, yeah, Carol. I said, well, then she's got two titles.
No, I got a new title. That's perfect. I like
and
that.
He said, because she's helping you with all of the research and the data that you guys are collecting for all of the things that you are doing scientifically.
Yep.
We're doing a lot.
We are doing a lot. I actually was knee deep, and I ran so many rabbit trails this past week on a few things that we're kind of looking into, medical and some medicines and some things to kind of help.
Yeah.
In a few different areas. I know, and we won't get off topic, but like everybody talks about doodle tummy, and so I've actually run a couple rabbit trails on that I think is going to be super helpful.
And it's really cool how things happen. I know you know what she's talking about, but we can take a few minutes before we get into our topic of the day. Oh, and by the way, welcome everybody. Dana is here. She is back from her sabbatical due to COVID, but she's back. Thank the Lord.
Back. So glad to be back.
Yes, and we've got Will behind the camera over there too. So if y'all have any questions, guys, just
Post them.
yeah, just let us know, and Dana will just jump in. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But so we had an incident because we're on a farm and we have horses, and we had a disco. One of our very mischievous boys, he should be named Dennis the Menace and not Disco.
That came directly from the vet. That is a quote
That's
from
what
the
she
vet.
said. You should name him Dennis. He got in there and, unlocked the door, got inside the barn, ate alpaca food, Ivy's food, and all his food.
And his food, yep. And not even a little bit, like a half 50-pound bag. A half bag of alpaca.
He's 750-pound baby.
Yes, and he is so mischievous. Like, one of his favorite hobbies is opening the chicken coop to let all the chickens out so that he has friends to hang out with all day.
He's a Frisian, and you said a Frisian.
Frisian,
yeah,
yes.
He's a beautiful Frisian. He's my daughter's birthday present when she turned 18. The daughter that just graduated high school Friday night.
Yes.
So, hey, I've now officially graduated 5 children. And I think that Judge and I
might deserve a round of applause.
Yeah, I think we deserve some type of award. Mission accomplished. It has been done. 5 children. And guess what? I started in 1990 and I finished in 2023, over 3 decades of kids in school.
Oof.
Yep.
So I do think
Kudos.
we deserve some kind of a reward ourselves.
Maybe take a trip, just you and Judge.
Yes, that'll be good. But anyway, so with the animals and everything that the vet was doing, in the middle of the night, Carol, came as the animal services supervisor, manager. She was here and with us, and what a night. But
So how did y'all figure all this out? Was he like crying?
No, we went to go feed them, and he was in there literally head in the feed bag, hand in the cookie jar, so to say, and it was all gone.
Did he seem like he was in pain?
Not yet, and so we had to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
and that's where the vet had to come out, and everything that had gone in needed to come back out.
And how do you do that? Do you give him Ipecac?
They literally like when you siphon gas.
Oh wow!
Out of the tank. She literally ran a hose up his nose and into his stomach and literally sucked on it with her mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Until it started sucking out, and doing it. It was pretty gross because I watched a lot of it go in her mouth.
So she did, and really, so kind of funny story. So so with the bucket, basically she has a bucket with water, and then the water goes through the tube, and they do a lavage, basically, where they wash everything back out. Pump his stomach, basically, is what happened there, so we could get everything that he had eaten back out of him before it could get into his, out of his stomach and into his small intestines and large intestines to really, really create issues.
But we got a great education, and we learned some things about the treatment of the horse. It actually inspired Carol, like triggered a thought, and we were like looking at each other like, that's interesting. So now we got some rabbit trails.
We do, and it's always interesting. So we are a praying and Christian company, and we're always praying for God to give us wisdom, and it always comes in the most surprising ways when you least expect it.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, Yvette talking about a horse triggered a light bulb.
Well,
we'll see how it goes.
You all have joined us now, Dana.
Well, we don't get to know the label?
No. That's the research and development side.
Oh, yeah, that's got
to research and develop it.
Right. We got to track down some medications to see if what would work for a horse in the event that issues arose, how they would have treated that or prevented that, preventative care or care. And if it works for a horse, now we got to find out, okay, let's change.
Change a few things.
With some puppies.
Interesting.
So, but we don't know yet, so we'll come back. That'll be another topic.
Something else that came up today, interesting, but not always great, but just to kind of put out there, we had a scammer site pop up today on us.
I know. It happens all the time. I had Jordy calling me today saying, what in the world? I mean, there we are once again on the site. Do you remember the name of it?
It was
Goldendoodle
Home. Goldendoodlehome.com.
Come on, y'all. It's such a scammer site. It was the Brighton Doodles. Now it's this one. That is why you guys have to be so careful. I don't care who you're getting your puppy from. You better know that you're dealing with the original company, and you can pick up a phone and call them. You have an address. You can go to their house. If you don't have those things, beware.
So whenever I went to the website, it had contact us, and it was like a Illinois address, but then it had an international area code and all lower on it, which was kind of a red flag for that. Yeah. But we oftentimes get clients that ask, why do we post limited things on our website? Well, one of the reasons we limit some of what we post on our website, like a lot of times we get asked, why don't you post all your parent health screenings, and why don't you post all of these things? Well, with true transparency, we will offer that stuff to you guys. You're on a litter, we're happy to send it to you, but we don't want to make these scammer sites and these scammer people and also make their job easier for them.
Yeah,
and so that's one of the reasons we don't post it, and that's a question we get.
And a lot of clients have told me they've fallen for the scam because anytime something is too good to be true, it's pretty much too good to be true, But Dana, do we have any of our Doodle family
We
here?
have lots of Doodle family on here. Y'all say hello so I can see who you guys are. But we got Linda, who said, thank you, Dana, so good to have you back. Renee's here. She said, I'm so glad you're better.
I know.
I see Mimo on here. Mimo Mudd is watching. Tracy, Kenneth, Gina, Robin, some names we've had in the past, and a few new names.
All
so
right,
Haley and Joe.
Now I'm super excited about our Yappy Hour that's going to be coming up the very first Monday. I think that's next Monday.
Yeah, it's a Monday. We're already done with May. So
that's for our supporters. If you are not a supporter, you have time to go ahead and sign up and become a supporter. And that is an hour plus with Meredith and I hanging out, having a glass of wine, just chilling with you guys. And just talking doodles, talking life, talking the farm life, talking our personal life, whatever it is. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so we've got a few more comments. Julie says hello. Mimo says I'm here. Susan says Susan Mason picking up Friday.
Yay!
Yay! Friday. That's going to be awesome. So our topic today is something that I felt like was very important to talk about because I just got back from a trip from Puerto Rico. And while in Puerto Rico, I was in what felt like the rainforest. I mean, it really was like the rainforest, and it was so beautiful there. And if y'all have not been, we were in a resort, the St. Regis Resort, and it was just beautiful, and it felt like I was in a world away, like in another country. But I was going through a lot of foliage, and it was everywhere, and big old iguanas, and I mean, gorgeous, creatures and things like that. But then one day I was like, I I think I felt a tick. Oh my God. And so I was like, oh my God. And so I was so panicking because I needed to go and check. It wasn't a tick. But anyway, with the thought that I had been bitten by a tick, it really got me looking up stuff, thinking about it. And it reminded me that I have a friend that lives in Bristol. One of our supporters, she's one of our puppy owners. She's got 3 of our puppies, but she also is a dear friend of ours, and we visit her regularly. And she was telling me how serious it is in her area, and they have to be real preventative and have to be on top of that. So I thought this is a great topic for today. So starting now, we're going to talk ticks.
Okay.
Ticks. I mean, you guys, those are gross little things. And my earliest memory of them was seeing them on growing up, just dogs covered in them when I was a kid and not knowing what those things were. And then
it makes my skin crawl.
I know. But the thing is, they do not drink water. They do not eat. They just live off their sole source of survival is blood. I know it's pretty gross. And so they have to have some type of, you know, person, animal, wild animals, pets, people. They got to have a host, and they got to suck the blood. So the fatter they are, those little flat brown ones turn into the big old fat gray ones.
Yes, they do.
It's so gross. It is so gross.
It is.
But I know that our clients are wanting to get out, hike, and get out for the summer. And we've got to talk about how to prepare you for that, how to prevent ticks from getting on your dogs, but then if one gets on there, what to do.
And so tick-borne illness is definitely something that not only affects people, but also affects your dogs. There's actually one thing with a tick-borne illness in dogs that's super scary, and there's a paralysis that occurs. So like a tick can get on your dog, and they can get in spots that you will not find.
Like between the toes.
Or like in the flap of the ear, like it'll get in different
and that
places.
Little fold that's in their ear. There's those little crevices.
Yes, and so a tick can get in spots like that and you don't even know it's there. And then all of a sudden you have a dog who is partially or even almost entirely paralyzed. And the treatment for it, take the tick off the dog. And so that's something that is just really, really scary, but be aware of things like that. And so having a good parasite prevention plan is really good, but y'all read your labels and talk to your vet about specifics, because a lot of your preventions don't cover ticks, and that's something to definitely be aware of.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about what we use, and then let's find out, like, ticks are not, I know that ticks can be anywhere, but not every tick carries pathogens and diseases. Just because your dog has a tick on it doesn't mean that your dog is going to develop some disease.
Correct. And just because a tick gets on you doesn't mean that you're going to get anything. But it is something to be mindful of and aware of. And nobody wants parasites. And so it's something we do want to look
at. These are kind of gross.
They're very gross.
I really hated that. So, okay, so let's tell them what we use. And we'd love to hear what you guys use, what you've learned that works in your areas.
So with being mindful of what you give, so we here in our area, and let me qualify this. Every area is a little different with the products that are recommended because it's based on what works in your area, and your vet will tell you that. Well, here in the Southeast, because it never really gets cold, things that may work great in Montana just don't work as well here because we don't have that hard freeze that comes through. We're hot and humid,
and we never get cold enough to kill pretty much anything on the ground.
Yeah, and we do heartworm prevention year-round here. It's not just a few months out of the year, so do be aware of that. And your vet is going to be the best resource for what is currently working best in your area. But what we use is, so we use Brevecto, and this is a flea and tick prevention.
Can y'all see that?
So Brevecto lasts 3 months. It is for dogs that are 6 months and older, and that's what we use on our dogs here. Brevecto is a fantastic product, but all it does is external parasites. So fleas, ticks, ear mites, all of that is what Brevecto takes care of. Now, we use Brevecto separately from the heartworm prevention because, just to be honest, the combo products, we do tend to see in Goldendoodles in particular a higher rate of just reactions to it. Sometimes there's neurological side effects, sometimes you have some other issues, but with the more products that are combined together into one, we tend to see a few more issues out of that. But this is also what works. right now.
This works here. This works good for us.
A lot of the other stuff really kind of doesn't work. Now, because this doesn't do the intestinal parasites or heartworms, we have to give a separate product for that, and we use Sentinel Spectrum. So the Sentinel Spectrum also has in it birth control for fleas.
Birth control for fleas. That's pretty cool.
Yes. So this basically covers all of our parasites, hookworms, roundworms, whipworms, tapeworms, and heartworms. But it also has another product in it where it's not going to actively kill fleas, but it'll make sure that any eggs that are laid don't hatch. So it kind of covers in a different way than the Bravecto does.
And this is for dogs, not cats. So
correct.
Cats are totally different.
Yes. And these products are made for cats also, but you definitely want to get the one that's labeled for whatever pet you have.
Yeah. So Dana, do they have any questions about this?
Well, we just had a few comments.
Okay.
Susan said, great topic because we were about to deal with this and I just dislike having to give our baby basically a pesticide.
I know.
And then Lynn said, yes, I saw the scammer live report. Interesting topics. Mima said, I just left the vet after $387.23 for flea and tick meds for her too.
You shouldn't have any problems then.
And yeah, we just have a few more people on, so.
Well, good. Now, as far as, like in our area, we don't, they don't really carry Lyme disease and all that in this area because we just are not, it's not really bad in this area. But if you're traveling, where are the greatest concerned areas? Like, where are people the most concerned?
So I'm not 100% sure on that, but I would say mountainous areas, I know for sure, are areas to be aware of.
Because the Rocky Mountain fever and all that, ticks carry that. And so up in the mountains, and they come on the deer. And that's where the Lyme disease comes from, right?
It's the deer tick that can carry that. And so it doesn't necessarily have to come from the deer, but that particular tick is who is carrying Lyme disease. But Lyme disease it's not really prevalent here. It's actually so not prevalent here that our vets even don't typically carry the vaccine for it. So
Which for dogs you can get a vaccine, but not for people.
Correct. And so if you have like if you're living in an area where Lyme disease is really prevalent, we do have clients that are doing the longer prep school programs that request the Lyme disease vaccine, and so then we have to request it from our vet for them to special order it and then get it in so it can be done. But I always recommend that if you're going to be traveling to an area, to make sure that your dog gets that vaccine prior to going to that area and being really aware of that.
Right. And when you get a tick on you or a dog, the greatest thing to do is get it off as soon as possible. I mean, immediately get that thing off. Because really and truly, when they bite down, I was doing all this research, reading about it, and it was talking about the proteins in their saliva. It takes 24 to 48 hours for it to actually get into the bloodstream. So if you just do a good overall check on yourself and your kids and your dogs, your pets, and then you get them off like that, you're not going to really have to worry about an issue. It's the ones that stay attached for a long period of time that's getting the pathogens in the bloodstream.
Yeah. And then is there a correct way to take them off?
There's a lot of different recommendations on correct ways to take them off. And my recommendation is you have to do what works for you and that you can do, because some people are great at getting a pair of tweezers and twisting and getting it off. But a lot of people are not very good at that, and you end up leaving the head or part of the head in, and then that will turn into a pretty irritated sore on a dog or on you, whether it's carrying pathogens or not. And so there's a couple of recommendations. One is you can just get a cotton swab dipped in alcohol, soak it on it, and then basically it
should let go.
It should let go. Usually it does make them kind of pass out, I guess would be the way to, we'll say that way.
They got alcohol, they're high.
And they do tend to let go. That does tend to work. That's probably one of the most effective ways to do it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I do. I jerk that thing off so
grab and twist.
I'm like, it's gone. And then I look, I get the glasses and look and make sure there's nothing there, and it's gone.
Yeah.
As quick as it gets on, it's on.
And you know what? That's I hate to say it, but me too. So I am totally a grab and twist. I am out with horses and the animals.
So that ain't staying on me.
And so I do not happen to carry around rubbing alcohol and a cotton swab in my pocket. And so if there is a tick on me, I have got good fingernails. I'm going to grab and twist and get it off.
It's coming off.
Yep.
So let's see. Julie says, I have an older dog who can only tolerate the Bravecto. That is a 1 month pill. The 3 month pill is too much for his system.
Good to know. Yeah, and you definitely have options, and that's talk to your vet. Talk to your vet about it, because when someone reports like a dog that has a seizure or something like that, the first thing a vet or anybody's always going to look at is what heartworm flea prevention are you on? Because those are known triggers for neurological side effects.
Things like that. And it's random because, you know, people will just be like out of the blue. My dog is just having random seizures. You know, I've been dealing with my friend and his Rottweiler who's been having a lot of major seizures.
Yep.
And I need to check and see what he's on. Leo, if you're watching, go check that. That might be your problem. We've been trying to figure out what the problem is and why your dog is having just nonstop seizures every month.
There are certain breeds that
It is every month.
If it's once a month, right around the same time. Now, epilepsy will cycle like that, but a lot of times if it's every month, but like 48 to 72 hours after a heartworm or flea prevention was given, that could be what's triggering it.
I'm going to call him this evening or at least send him a text if I don't hear from him.
So,
and this is a big old Rottweiler.
Yes.
I mean, you know. So he probably takes a big old dose.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he probably takes a big old dose.
It is. And that is one of the things to be really mindful of with, and talk to your vet. And I know there's a lot of people who have sensitivities to it also. And so whether you use an oral treatment or a topical treatment, be aware that with the topical treatment, that's something that you may be touching, which is where a lot of clients comment about, I'm uncomfortable putting a pesticide on my dog.
Right.
Well, there are definitely some homeopathic remedies, but again, have conversations with your vet. But there are certain breeds that have sensitivities to like ivermectin and some of those medications. And what's interesting is Embark actually does the test for that. They look for the gene.
Really? That's so cool. That's back to our research and development. We are just learning so much in our R&D.
I need a name tag.
Yeah, we got to get you that. It's like, I like that title. Yes. Sounds good.
We'll go with that.
Research and development.
So Carrie, our friend Carrie Wagner says, love this coffee chat.
Yeah.
Julie said, what I learned from my pup that almost died from Lyme Bartonella, a secondary infection, is to send the tick in for analysis.
Oh, good. That's a very good point.
Really?
So I'm glad Carrie commented because it brings up a whole nother point. So something else. So whenever we do anything and make any decisions with our dogs, it's about risk management.
Right.
You know, what poses the greatest risk to the dog versus not. And so there's also a lot of research that indicates that flea preventions and some dewormers can lead to behavioral issues and anxiety issues in dogs, that it can have some additional effects. And that's something Carrie and I actually, you know, she messaged in as she was getting her puppy that she preferred that the puppy not be given certain medications because of, did you need this? Yeah. So she, because she was concerned about the possibility of that, but that's again weighing the risk out.
So what did she want to use? What did they use?
She'd prefer not to use anything, and I think in talking to her, she actually uses the Seresto collar.
Oh, that's right.
Now, Carrie can comment and let us know if that is what she uses, but I think that's what she said that she used.
And I think she said they put them on when they go out and then take them off when they come in and just keep them. That's pretty cool. And then she has a doggy daycare center in Oklahoma, so she's dealing with a lot of dogs. So she, you know, has a voice. She's an expert in the area of knowing what works in her area.
And that's where, like, for some of you guys who live in areas where maybe fleas aren't as common or ticks are not as common or it gets really cold, you have the option of not giving it then. And then you also have the option of really making a choice of, okay, does the tick pose a greater risk to my dog, or does the medication I'm giving to prevent the tick pose a greater risk? And then weigh that out. We do that every day with everything that we do with our dogs.
That's
we weigh out what poses the greatest risk, the medication or not giving the medication.
Right.
So
yeah.
Marcy says, we've been giving Raisin the trifexis and he has been gone and he has been gone, but last month he got, sorry about that guys, he got sick after he took it. Also, our guy does not like swallowing medicine. We have tried everything in the book. He just knows. So how is the Bravecto administered, Sentinel administered?
Yeah, it's a world. And so for a dog who just refuses, and y'all, I had, so Charles's background is police canine. And so we had Ty, who's a Belgian Malinois, or was a Belgian Malinois, who was a drug dog. I don't care what you put it in. I don't care if you ground it up and stuck it in tuna fish. She knew any oral medication, you were not going to get it in her. It was not happening. It was not going in her mouth. And she was a big enough and tough enough dog that when she said she was not taking something, she was not taking it.
So how did you get meds down?
She ended up doing oral meds. We didn't, and if it's not going in one way, then we ended up having with some medications that she just required. We either had to use injections or we had to go in the other direction.
Okay.
It works. But for that, there's definitely topical treatments that can be done.
Okay. Speaking of the other end, we're going to have a coffee chat on anal gland expressing because this happened this weekend. Another topic at my condo. It was really funny. It all happened all over on Joseph.
Remember when it happened on me?
Your kids have had a bad week.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
Sherry laughs. If it happens on you, she thinks it's hysterical, and it happened on me, and I had never had.
She didn't know what it was.
Know what it was.
Well, we don't
in my face,
so
and she couldn't stop laughing.
Hey, so
it's a topic for another day. But
trade trick though, if it does happen to you, ear cleaner will neutralize that smell.
On you or on their
ear cleaner?
On both, it will neutralize the smell.
Joseph had just gotten a
Dog
shower.
ear cleaner.
Dog ear cleaner had just gotten a shower. We were watching a movie. Hermione jumped up on him, and he didn't know what happened. You should have seen his face.
Wait a minute, but you know that didn't happen to Natalie, but your kids have had a rough week. So Natalie with the horse, we're talking about the siphoning. So as it's like coming through, she was holding it, and Natalie's holding his head, and then all of a sudden it goes, and it covered Natalie. She was like, she disappeared.
I was like, oh my God, this is gross. We got a lot of gross stuff.
It was a rough week for you.
Had a rough week with the animals, secretions. Okay, I'm just saying. But we're going to talk about that topic later. That is a whole topic of your homework.
Okay, so we're going to have a coffee chat about secretions.
Now, the top is going to have anal in it, so it's going to get a lot of YouTube people coming.
Oh, Lord.
So, anyway.
I'm looking for something else.
Yeah.
Hey, get those clicks.
The things you got to know and talk about when you have dogs.
Yes.
True that.
That's true. Well, any other last comments, Dana?
Susan said, "Talk parvo?" ? Have we done that?
We would love to talk parvo. We can make that a topic. We'll take notes. Because he's always saying, "What are we going to talk about this week?" Because he likes to make
just so you guys know that we'll posted a link to our flea and tick medicine in Fletch and Low, our pure and good. So it's in there, really good, especially if you love essential oils. That kind of
more
smell,
of a natural, less pesticide.
Yeah.
That's always good. There's got to always be a natural way to treat these things, you know. And I love holistic natural things, especially essential oils. Love them. You just got to be careful with essential oils because some are fine with dogs and some are not.
Right.
But hey, if I can use oils, I'm going to use them. Because I like to be concerned.
And there's a lot of things that you can do as far as natural ways to repel fleas and ticks with dogs.
So Janice has a suggestion on pill giving. She says, use the chaser method to administer medication. Give empty piece of pill pocket, instantly followed by pill pocket with pill, then instantly followed with empty piece of pill pocket. My vet taught me this, and it's the only trick that worked for my one pup. I've told others, and it worked for them. So it's like you tricking them into...
So, and for most dogs, I'll give you another trick you can do. So dogs don't have lips, per se, so they can't spit. So if you get it in something that they can't spit out, like peanut butter or cream cheese, usually they can't spit that out, so they have no option but to swallow.
That's why they do the tongue thing.
That's also why if they lick a frog, they're drooling excessively because they can't spit out that nasty taste, so they just salivate and drool like crazy.
I wonder what that tastes like. I'm not trying it.
I was like, I do not wonder what it tastes like. It's not something I'm even remotely curious about.
Apparently, they like them. I mean, they lick them. But people eat frog legs.
Okay, so this is now a whole new topic. What would a frog taste like? You said
slimy, salty, very dirty, dirt-like.
Okay, so you just described okra.
I did. I did.
But I like okra.
Just fried okra. I don't like slimy okra.
So, yeah.
Quite interesting coffee chat today, everyone. I hope that you got your questions answered about ticks. I don't know if there's anything unsaid about ticks.
I will say another thing with pills. So obviously we give pills frequently. Like I'm practiced at that quite a bit. So you can do stuff they can't spit out. Also, when she was saying the chaser method, what I thought she was talking about is chasing it with a like gel or a liquid. So a lot of times what we will do is we'll give the pill and then follow it up with like a little bit of liquid in their mouth so that they feel like they have to swallow.
Yeah, gotta get it down however you can. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us in the middle of this day. I needed a coffee break, and I love having it with you guys. I look forward to next week. I think that we'll let you guys know a few days before, maybe by Monday, what the topic's going to be. If you have a preference, put it down here in the comments, and we'll kind of take it from there. And we will be here Monday for Yappy Hour. That's going to be fun. So become a subscriber.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
Just 2 more days until it's June.
I know. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I know. I Googled the other day, like, what is 1/2 of the year? And it was July the 1st. And I was like, man, we're almost there, you know?
It's crazy
how fast it goes by. Well, you guys have a great day. We are going to bring up some beautiful puppies in a little bit. Meredith and Taylor working now to get them ready. And I'm sure we'll be back in a little while. And stick around on our website, on Facebook. Meredith does that cutest puppy, her cuteness, the end of the day cuteness, and it's always so cute.
Yes, it's just
so much fun. All right, bye guys.